You're watching Face Islam. The episode today we're dealing with a third kind of shirk. We've been talking about shirk in general, which is to make partners with Allah, and how it is that's an unforgivable sin. A person would have to actually start all over in Islam if they've done that, or if they want to come to Islam, they could do that and be forgiven. But other than that, if they continued in this kind of false worship of other than Allah, then they will not be forgiven. This is a very serious subject. Now, let us come to today's Shirk al-khafee. What is Shirk al-khafee? We've talked about the major shirk, which is the Shirk al-akbar, worshiping a rock, a stick, or a stone, or a bone, believing it's going to help you. The second one we said was like a minor type of shirk, but it's really not. That's not the best word in English, but Shirk al-asgar is to worship through something, thinking it's going to help you. Still shirk, still won't work. Then this type, Shirk al-khafee, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, the way he described it, he said it is like a black ant on a black rock on a black night. No clouds, no stars, no moon, nothing out there. So you couldn't see it. That's the point. And this is something that you got to be very careful about. Even for the believers, even for the Muslims, or anybody who is trying to worship God without partners, you got to be very careful about this one. Let me tell you why. Because it is to deny something of God's quality. And whenever you deny any of his qualities, this is the same as shirk. Now, he has full knowledge of whatever's going to happen. Everything's already planned, and you cannot do anything other than what was in the plan. Meaning that you have choices that you make, and that's what you'll be asked about. But you can't really control the world or what's around you. You can't. So when a person, now listen, when a person is upset about something, maybe I lock my keys in the car and I can't get them out, maybe I'm standing out in the rain trying to get in the house and the door's jammed, you got problems, and then you start saying, if I would have done this, such and such, then that would not have happened. If you had not slammed the door, my keys wouldn't be in there right now. You start blaming other people, blaming yourself, saying that if something, then so-and-so. It's kind of like a statement in computer language. If such and such occurs, then go to line so-and-so. But anyhow, follow me with this just for a second. Whenever we begin to say that if something different had occurred, then this would have been a whole different situation. Actually, that's in your mind only, because it couldn't have been any different. When someone passes away, when someone dies, it was exactly their time to go. Nobody dies before their time. This is an expression we hear, oh, they were so young they died before their time. No, nobody dies before their time. And nobody is born before their time. They're born when they're supposed to be born, and they die when they're supposed to die. And there's nothing you can do about that, nor can I. But what we can do is deal with the reality that things happen, and we have to move on with our lives. Sitting there complaining about it and saying, well, if such and such would have been different, and that would have been different, and this could be so-and-so, and that could be so-and-so, is very much like somebody trying to drive down the street looking in the rearview mirror. You imagine that? Whether you're driving forward or backward, looking in the rearview mirror is a tough way to go, isn't it? It's really tough. And what I'm suggesting is that although we all have these moments when we feel like we could have done something better, and I wish I would do better, at the same time, you can't really change what has already happened. What you can do, though, is have a real good attitude about what can happen in the future if you put your mind to work, put your body to work, put your worship to work for you by worshiping the only one God. And get away from this idea of some rock or stick or stone going to benefit you, some kind of lucky charm is going to help you out. None of these things are going to benefit you. Ask the one that created you. Ask the Lord above. Talk to Him in your prayers. Say, God, help me. God, guide me. Because if you'll do that, if you're sincere with that, you'll find that He'll do it. I've known people who didn't even believe in God, didn't even have an inkling about it, but we challenged them. Try it. And watched them go through a process where they began searching and reading, and before you know it, well, they're believers today. But it's got to come from you. You have to initiate that inside your heart. Don't worry about the little stuff. It'll all come to play as soon as you take care of the biggest thing. And the biggest thing of all is Allah. Allah is Akbar. Now, I don't mean that in the sense to compare Him to the creation, just that you understand there isn't any benefit from anything in this creation. The only benefit comes from the Creator of it. So let's direct our love, devotion, worship, thanksgiving all toward Him. And that's the way that it should have been from the beginning. We understand that we make mistakes, but we don't blame. Stay away from that one, the Shirk khafee, and that's Face Islam.